Welcome to Global Life Sessions presented by HDFC Life International. We're proud to bring you valuable guidance from Mr. Rahul Prasad today, CEO of HDFC Life International, who's going to be sharing practical tips on financial planning tailored for global Indians. With US denominated insurance solutions, HDFC Life International is committed to helping you achieve your global aspirations. So let's get started on that note. Rahul, welcome to the Times Network. Thank you so much for your time. Firstly, give me an overview as to what are the kind of services that you at HDFC Life International provide for the NRI fraternity.
Thank you, Aisha. Thank you for having me. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on this NRI Divas. HDFC Life International, let me start by giving a little bit of a background. We are set up in GIFT City as a branch of HDFC International Life and Re. This is a 100% subsidiary of HDFC Life, and we undertake two businesses: reinsurance from our Dubai office and insurance from our GIFT City office. And GIFT City office is really aimed at catering to the requirements of NRIs and a segment that we call as global Indians, which is both NRIs and of course Indians who have connections outside India, and they may have requirements not just within the shores of the country. Now what we have seen is that requirements on finances are not necessarily restricted to just one country, and you see that happening with NRIs a lot. They have to straddle between two countries, and requirements are often cross border, and therefore it becomes necessary that solutions are not limited in scope in just one country. And that's the focus behind opening GIFT City, where our solutions are truly global when it comes to life products, when it comes to health products. Incidentally, we are also the only company to be licensed with both life and health, and therefore what it means is that our clients can get truly, as I was saying, truly global products with benefits which are international, are not limited by borders, and of course they are in foreign currency.
Right. So let's chat a little bit in more detail about what the GIFT City business is all about and what the Dubai venture is all about.
So the journey started about 8 years back.
For Dubai.
We set up this company as a subsidiary of HDFC Life, and it is incorporated in DIFC UAE. We are licensed to undertake reinsurance and insurance, and we do this on life and medical lines. Now the Dubai entity focuses primarily on B2B business, which is really providing reinsurance capacity to insurers in the region. Although not really restricted to GCC, but for the moment our mandate is to look at Middle East. And there I think it has allowed us to understand what international products on the life and health side have been for a lot of foreign nationals and a lot of Indians, and also has helped us to appreciate some of the gaps which exist for NRIs when they want to purchase policies in India. And that is one of the steps why we got into GIFT City, because we thought that some of those areas can be brought as offerings from the GIFT City office.
So it's B2B for Dubai and purely retail for GIFT City as of now? Okay, great. So tell me a little bit more about how you see the NRI financial landscape right now. Are more and more Indians wanting to invest into policies and bring their money back home? I mean, on the same hand, because we've also seen a lot of exodus of NRIs moving their businesses out of India too. How are you sort of mapping the landscape?
Right. So the NRI financial landscape is really divided into two worlds. One is what the NRIs get in India, and what's really accessible to them wherever they are based, wherever they are working. So wherever they're working, and what access of products could be available from there, right? And it's everybody's seen those figures of inward remittances every year into our country, 100 plus billion 2023. We'll see how the numbers are for 2024. But huge amount of interest from NRIs to send money back home in India. No secret, NRIs love putting a chunk of their wealth in India, whether across financial products, whether they are deposits or mutual funds, insurance, and who can forget real estate, right? NRIs love real estate. So what you see really is interest in India for the longer tenure, of course guided by the India growth story. But as I was saying, one thing which always plays on the minds of NRIs is the rupee and dollar equation, and that volatility also prompts them to have investments outside India. And what we've seen is NRIs tend to have a little bit of higher risk appetite when investing abroad. I don't really know why, but in India they tend to have slightly lesser risk appetite. But all products, in terms of their interest. And what we also see is that if there is opportunity for them to invest with Indian names, Indian service providers, but not in rupee, then there seems to be a little bit of a interest. I would say a lot of interest.
I guess comfort and trust also, right?
Yes, I think NRIs have understood the benefits of the Indian financial ecosystem, and also the regulatory guardrails which have been there in the country for many years gives them huge amount of comfort. But I think the only thing missing is that can some of these products be available in non-rupee currencies as well? And I think with GIFT, I think that problem is getting solved to quite an extent.
So tell me, is currency the only challenge when it comes to managing Indian money abroad?
Well, currency is definitely one of the prime factors to look at. But of course, people look at various other areas as well. Interest rate, wherever the NRIs are, always plays crucial factor. The currency volatility, as I said, and of course market sentiments in terms of where they're investing, costs in terms of what they find on their life goals, whether it's education for their kids, or for retirement, or even for that matter health costs, is something that drives decisions on where they invest. And of course there are products available now in India, and of course outside India as well, but you see a gamut of these products being utilized by.
So let's talk about as to how the Gift City vertical of HDFC Life International is going to help mitigate the currency risk.
So Gift City incidentally allows only to deal in non-rupee currencies. So therefore, for everything rupee,
the risk is off in any case.
So for everything rupee, NRIs can continue to come to financial service providers in India. Excellent products, very well regulated, by all the Indian regulators. And then the need of foreign currency products now gets met through Gift City offerings.
But tell me, Rahul, when we look at the global landscape right now, there's so many geopolitical risks, so many elections across the world, and so many of these, leadership changes which are currently happening as we speak. Does that also sort of pose a risk? And is that really a factor that NRIs talk about, or sort of hinders them into putting money into your products?
So, definitely yes. Geopolitical risk is something that I think NRIs are quite wary of. They take that into account when making large and big decisions on finances. And geopolitical risk, affect many areas, right? And as I was saying, you have effects on interest rates. You have sometimes there could be possibilities of restrictions on money movements,
currency, oil, pretty much all asset classes.
Yeah, absolutely. And therefore I think the primary mantra of diversification works well. But I think one of the key things that NRIs tend to do, and which is good and it is also advisable, is to sort of match the requirement of financial obligations with the currency that they operate in. So if you have a requirement in India, you try and do investments in rupees. If you foresee expenses outside India, then you match those investments and savings in that particular currency.
So what advice would you have for NRIs who have families back home and who would want some emergency money to be kept in the country and would want a fund for that?
So I think two things, and most financial advisors and books will tell you this. Liquid money, easily accessible. Anything from 3 months to 6 months, in cash is the best option, and always good to do this, obviously in rupees, and as I've been saying, also do this in other currencies as well. But one of the most important things for NRIs is to maintain accounts where transfer of money is easier and swift. So it's very important that you go to a bank where these services are available, on your fingertips, so that in case of emergency, money is easily accessible, whether you want money in India, sometimes you need money abroad. So you need mechanisms where you don't really have to wait too long to be able to access the hard-earned money that's been secured.
I also wanted to understand, considering we're living in such interesting times, and 2024, or rather I should say since the COVID lows, it's been such an eye-opener. You had a parabolic move in pretty much all asset classes, and 2024 in that sense has sort of reinstated that, pick up anything, be it gold, be it real estate, capital markets, dollar, and even cryptos, all of it has done well. What are some of the investment trends that you're foreseeing? What kind of biases and preferences do NRIs have right now?
So, I think NRI's love affair for real estate is it continues. I think, the fact that they invest in capital markets in India is also very well known. They are beginning to do this, on global markets with much more, much greater comfort now, and with tools available outside India to be able to, deploy money in different markets, it's making it easier. The other thing that, we have noticed and our team has noticed is that the ability to search online and research, with NRIs has grown tremendously. So very well informed. They are able to understand nuances of financial products in India and of course outside India as well. I would believe that a bulk of investments will continue to happen in deposit real estate and then followed by mutual funds and insurance, and maybe some alternatives as well. But I think for a typical NRI, I think the favorites remain.
Realty and financial assets, right? So tell me, how is it that you're trying to adapt to these trends? Because there are growing needs. You want to have all asset classes, you want to have a balanced portfolio, and more importantly, investors are so aware nowadays. They want those specialized financial products which try and take advantage of it all.
So, from the start, we have been very clear that the products need to be able to provide value addition across these areas. And the first product that we came out with from HDFC Life International was a international global education plan, essentially aiming to help parents build a corpus for international education for their children. And the biggest point to look at is that its investment is in dollars, and therefore you're quite rest assured that when you need money you will get it in dollars. Now what we've tried to do in these products is to give a whole lot of options to invest in areas like US capital markets. You could get into global debt, you could even get into options of gold, and therefore under one plan, if you are able to direct your investments across these avenues and also change online as the need may be, is something that we feel will work really well with NRIs, and the trends are hugely encouraging. So we are obviously offering as many possibilities that exist between equity, debt, and some bit of gold. And products are really now, feature packed now. We know for a fact that investors are spoiled for choice, and therefore it's important that not just investment avenues are provided, but a whole lot of options are provided in terms of how they want this to be managed, how they want companies to be able to help them in terms of rebalancing over a period of time, what kind of input can come to them. So all these we've tried to sort of put this in place.
So give me some more color on what your product pipeline or portfolio is like when it comes to dollar denominated investment in products.
So on the investment side, we are going to very soon launch a whole of life product, which allows NRIs to have policies which could run for the age of 100, which means you could get cover till the age of 100. Of course, linked with investment options, which are, as I said, linked to equity, debt, or for that matter, gold. We had options to be able to change this over a period of time, and you would get options also to add cover in terms of health. And we have seen this over a period of time that the awareness on protection related to health has grown tremendously, and people are looking for options where in one place they could sort of have both investment as well as health being taken care of. So that's one product that really coming out of the research that we've done, and it's going to be out quite soon, within a month or so.
Very interesting. So tell me, what are the other sort of models that you're working on or products that you're working on to try and aid the NRI fraternity better at HDFC Life International?
So there are a couple of other segments which we feel are big and quite important in terms of the gap that exists today.
Which is?
So one is that you'd find there is a whole lot of Indian students who go abroad every year. Almost 1 million plus students who go abroad every year for higher education, and we find that the health cover that they carry most of the times is inadequate. So of course there are places which give you good cover. Sometimes universities ensure that the students need to take proper coverage, but a lot of times we find coverage is inadequate. We also find that this can with the health costs abroad, one incident here and there can really wreak havoc on the finances of students. And we've also seen how so many of students take loans to go for these courses, and therefore it's important that there are no negative surprises over the extended period of study. So we've come out with a student health plan. It's really comprehensive, global, covers students anywhere in the world, not just the location that they are they're studying, but really everywhere. And the coverage is quite comprehensive. From $500,000 goes up to $2.5 million. Covers inpatient, outpatient, the entire works. So that space, I think we are very, very keen that students utilize this appropriately. We've also come up with a health product for NRIs, which is again with global coverage. Coverages start from $1.5 million, goes up to $4.5 million. And this is really for people, and not necessarily, in fact, just NRIs, even for resident Indians who spend time, outside India, on an extended basis. And therefore, it's important that not just carry a travel insurance, but have proper comprehensive health cover, which is cashless in most places, and you get you have your back in terms of emergency, or even when there are planned treatments. There are some world best hospitals available in terms of being able to access. So these are two spaces that we feel are quite important. From investment point of view, again, we feel there are opportunities on the retirement side. There are a lot of NRIs who are looking for good annuity and pension solutions, and that's really in the works. I think sometime in a couple of quarters we will have a good deferred annuity pension plan and then an immediate annuity pension plan, where pension can be available in US dollars, which would be either a monthly.
What more would one want, right? Yeah. Great. So tell me, we're looking at a very large global domination, while right now it may be Dubai, but I'm sure you're looking at, other geographies as well. Are there any collaborations or partnerships that you may be eyeing or at least have in the pipeline?
So, we're getting huge amount of interest from banks because these conversations in terms of products in US dollars, which is both life, health, retirement, are new conversations, and they obviously want, the customers to, get benefited from these products. So partnerships definitely with banks are on. We are obviously tying up with third-party providers, for great seamless service deliveries on our health side. So we already have two, big partnerships, and some of these names are, well-known, reputed for delivery of health across the world. So, and I'm sure, as we get into more products and more services, I'm sure the partnership space will expand.
I want you to focus a little bit more on, the education part that you just talked about, because, more and more kids want to go abroad for future studies, and more parents also sort of, push their kids to go out for maybe specialized studies, etc. What exactly is the product portfolio like when it comes to how is it that you raise money pretty much from the time that your child is born and try and, secure money for their further studies or future studies abroad?
So I think Indian parents or NRI parents are, always very careful in terms of being able to save money, at least for children's education. And there's a whole lot of importance which is given in financial planning on this particular aspect. And what we've tried to do is to allow parents to be able to invest in US dollars, create a good corpus over a period of 5, 10, 15 years. You can plan depending on the age of the child to when you expect the child to get into undergraduation or graduation. And for this entire period, the parent is covered, as a life cover, which is given to the parent. And, God forbid, in case of eventuality, in case the parent is no longer there, the insurance company then obviously, pays lump sum to the child. But we also have an option where we provide future investments, are funded by the insurance company, and the child therefore is secure in terms of being able to get to a certain corpus. The investment management is done at HDFC Life International, across 6 or 7 investment strategies. I must say we've given excellent returns in last 14-15 months, ranging from 10% to all the way up to 20-30%. And we do believe that the structures that we are providing will help parents be able to save regularly and get a whole lot of growth and investment returns over a period of 10-15 years.
So Rahul, 5 to 10 years, because this is a decadal long theme, right? Where do you see HDFC Life International going from here?
We are very excited, with the opportunity that lies ahead. Not only is this large size, it is rapidly growing, and we are quite confident that the kind of products that we have, the kind of experience that we have, and the international exposure which we've had for last 8 years or so, I think we really understand some of the needs that the NRIs have, and I think we'll be able to do justice to this opportunity over the next 5-6 years.
Okay, great. Good luck with that, and thank you so much for this very informative and insightful discussion, which the NRI community definitely is going to benefit from. Thanks. Thank you all for joining us for this very informative session with HDFC Life International. We hope you gained valuable insights in securing your global aspirations. For more details about our plans, visit www.hdfclifeinternational.com. Start planning today for a brighter tomorrow. Live limitless, live proud with HDFC Life International.